What if falling asleep wasn't about trying harder, but about outsmarting your own mind using the darkest psychological tactics that science and persuasion experts rarely share? Tonight, you'll discover not gentle tips, but powerful mind tricks used by deep sleepers, elite trainers, even military specialists to silence restless thoughts and fall asleep fast. These aren't your everyday hacks. They're mental shortcuts so effective, you'll wonder why no one talks about them. Ready to unlock the secrets? Let's dive into the first dark psychological trick for sleep. Mirror effect of sleep. Have you ever noticed how contagious sleepiness can be? Think about the last time you saw someone yawn and then, without warning, you found yourself yawning too. That's not just a joke. It's science. It's the mirror effect of your brain synchronizing with the habits, feelings, and rhythms of those around you. But here, where the trick gets dark and brilliant, you can actually hack this instinct to make yourself fall asleep faster, using only the power of mirroring, even if you're lying alone in bed. Start by consciously mimicking the signals of someone who is falling asleep. Imagine their slow, heavy breathing, the relaxed muscles, the gentle sinking into the mattress. Don't just visualize it. Breathe slowly. Relax your jaw. Unclench your fists, drop your shoulders, and let every limb turn to gentle weight. The act of copying these sleep cues isn't just a game. It's a psychological shortcut, priming your nervous system to follow the routine. Now take it deeper. Play sounds that mimic the sleep environment, the rustle of sheets, gentle breathing, a low hum in the background. Match your breath and movement to what you hear, as if you're joining in a group sleep ritual. The brain's mirror neurons are being triggered, and they respond most powerfully to familiar, rhythmic cues. If you struggle with loneliness, remember that your mind can create social mirroring with imagination alone. Recall the feeling of lying in a room full of peacefully sleeping people, a childhood sleepover, a pet at your side, a train full of dozing travelers. The more you immerse yourself in the collective experience, even as a mental exercise, the faster your brain surrenders. This trick isn't just a feel-good hack. Mirror neurons are why friends pick up each other's habits, why bobbies sleep best cradled close, and why entire households fall silent together. By creating sleep mirroring, visually, audibly, and emotionally, you send a powerful, persuasive signal to your nervous system. It's time to sleep. Repeat the process each night. Over time, your mind becomes conditioned. See sleep, hear sleep, act sleep, become sleep. When you master the mirror effect, sleep becomes infectious. All you need to do is catch it. Mirroring sleep cues can make sleep contagious. But sometimes, even when your body is primed, your mind refuses to cooperate. If your thoughts keep you awake no matter how relaxed you feel, it's time to outsmart your own anxieties. Our next trick rewrites the story your mind tells itself so you become your own biggest ally, not an enemy of sleep. Gaslighting your own insomnia. Have you ever considered what happens when you start believing that sleeplessness is not as big a problem as your mind claims? Imagine this. Someone with insomnia lies awake every night, convinced they'll never fall asleep, that every lost minute will ruin tomorrow. That voice grows louder with every toss and turn. But what if, instead of fighting that voice, you manipulated it? This is where the dark art of gaslighting your own insomnia begins. Normally, gaslighting is a harmful psychological weapon meant to confuse and control others, making them doubt their reality. Here, we flip it. You become the manipulator of your own anxious, negative thoughts about sleep. Start by catching yourself when your mind says, "Here we go again, another sleepless night." Interrupt that thought. Ask yourself, what if this is just a story my brain is telling me? What if my body knows more than my mind does? Now, use subtle self-doubt as a weapon against negativity. Whisper to yourself, "Am I really that incapable of sleep, or is this just another exaggeration from my anxious brain?" If you find yourself catastrophizing / believing every lost minute is a disaster, question it ruthlessly. Is it true that no sleep means total failure tomorrow? Or has my brain survived lack of sleep before? Take it further. Convince your mind that staying awake isn't a big deal. Say, maybe I won't sleep tonight, that's fine. Lots of people go a night without sleep and get through the next day. This isn't the end of the world. Suddenly, the pressure is gone. The drama is neutralized. Your anxiety loses its power because the outcome doesn't feel catastrophic anymore. This trick works because our brains respond strongly to the meaning we assign to things, not the things themselves. By reframing insomnia as temporary, harmless, or even boring, you defang the monster at the end of your bed. Over days and weeks, keep practicing. When panic rises, talk back to it. If your mind says, I can't sleep, ask, can I really never sleep, or might I just be restless tonight? Remind yourself of every time you fell asleep, even after hours of wakefulness. You can even make your insomnia ridiculous. Joke with yourself. Guess I'm just a professional insomniac tonight, working the night shift in my dreams. Turn the event into satire. Darkness becomes comedy. The more you question the catastrophic story, the weaker it becomes. Over time, you'll notice a change. By gaslighting your own insomnia with humor, skepticism, and nonchalance, you take back control. Your brain begins to accept that insomnia isn't fatal, the stress falls away, and paradoxically, you fall asleep faster. Remember, the ethics of this trick matter. You're not using these psychological twists on anyone else. You're using the power of reframing, questioning, and self-talk to liberate yourself from the tyranny of your own sleepless mind. Tonight, when that old voice returns, gaslight it. Throw its lies back in its face. Watch as, stripped of fear, your insomnia transforms from an enemy into a harmless, powerless background noise. Silencing negative thoughts makes room for rest, but even a clear mind needs the right cues to slip into sleep. Sometimes your body just needs the subconscious nudge to shift into true relaxation. That's where priming comes, a ritual to gently guide your mind into surrender. Priming the subconscious. What happens to your mind just before you fall asleep? In those quiet moments, your subconscious is at its most vulnerable and also its most powerful. Here's the dark truth. You can prime your subconscious to crave sleep, so falling asleep stops being a fight and starts feeling automatic. Think about the subtle cues your brain picks up every night. A slight coolness in the air, the soft scent of your pillow, a certain phrase, a well-worn song, or even a repeated thought. Most people stumble on these by accident, but the masters of sleep manipulation set these cues intentionally, training their subconscious to recognize them as the gateway to rest. Start with sensory priming. Choose one sensory signal, maybe a specific calming scent, the sound of gentle rain, or a certain texture like your softest blanket. Make this signal a nighttime ritual. Every night, right before getting into bed, engage with this cue mindfully. Inhale the scent, listen to the sound, rub the texture through your fingers. Do it as the very last thing before you settle in, every single night. Your brain begins to associate this chosen cue with the onset of sleep. Neurologically, you're building a Pavlovian response the same way a bell might trigger a dog's drool. Your sensory cue will trigger drowsiness in your mind. Add mental priming. Choose a phrase, mantra, or thought that signals letting go. Something simple like "now is the time for deep rest," or "I let my mind wander into sleep." Whisper this to yourself as you close your eyes. The repetition is crucial. The subconscious loves patterns, and you're creating one it cannot resist. Go further with environmental priming. As much as possible, keep your sleep environment consistent, same temperature, same darkness, same layout. If you vary your routine, your brain stays vigilant. If you keep it predictable, the subconscious relaxes, knowing sleep is safe. Over days and weeks, this ritual turns into a powerful primer. You'll find that just the scent, the sound, or the phrase makes your eyelids heavy. Your subconscious, now expertly trained, welcomes sleep the way a seasoned actor hits their mark on stage. Why does this work? Because your conscious mind may worry, stress, or resist, but the subconscious cares about routine, and with enough repetition, routine becomes command. You're not just relaxing, you're programming your mind to obey. Tonight, choose your cue, make it meaningful, make it consistent, and let your subconscious take over. With your mind and senses tuned for sleep, the next step is making it almost too easy to start. If the leap feels too big, take a tiny step. Sometimes, moving slowly is the fastest way to reach deep rest. Our next technique uses small wins to unlock the door. Foot in the door ritual. What if the secret to sleeping fast isn't about diving straight into deep sleep, but about taking the smallest first step your mind won't resist? That's the heart of the foot in the door technique, one of psychology's darkest persuasion tools, now refined for insomnia. Hear how it works. When you ask your mind to accomplish a big task like fall asleep instantly, it rebels. Anxiety spikes. Sleeplessness wins. But when you offer your mind a tiny, almost trivial action, it says yes without a fight. Once you've started, momentum builds, growing into bigger and bigger steps until sleep is inevitable. Start with the smallest possible cue that signals sleep. A single, slow breath. Not 10, not 5, just 1. No pressure, no expectations. After that, invite your body to unclench one muscular finger, a tiny act of relaxation impossible to fail. Next, if your mind permits, stretch the ritual slightly. Let your body relax 2 muscles. Then 3, progress at your own pace. Tell yourself, I'm not trying to sleep yet, I'm just relaxing a bit. Many will find that the anxiety about sleep disappears. There's no pressure to achieve a big goal, only tiny wins. Sprinkle in micro routines. Turning off one light, adjusting your pillow, pulling up the blanket a centimeter. Each action is so simple that your critical mind doesn't protest. With every step, you inch more deeply into the sleep routine, never overwhelming your system. As this process continues, your body and mind become collaborators. You're not forcing sleep. You're easing into it with micro habits that lower all resistance. The foot in the door trick is a slow seduction, not a sprint, but an irresistible glide. Why does this work? Because our brains hate abrupt change but welcome gradual shifts. The first step is always the hardest. When you make it easy, you set off a chain reaction, small win after small win, leading to total relaxation. Tonight, try it. Pick the tiniest relaxation cue imaginable. Celebrate the ease. Let one win lead to another until, without drama or struggle, you discover you've drifted off. Momentum is powerful, but unfinished thoughts can keep you in limbo. When your mind refuses to let things go, sleep stays out of reach. Now, we flip restless loops into restful anticipation, a trick that turns open mental doors into a pathway for sleep. Zeigarnik Effect. Have you ever noticed how unfinished business keeps you awake, running mental loops long into the night? This is the Zeigarnik Effect, a quirk of psychology where the mind clings to incomplete tasks, refusing to let go until closure is found. Insomnia exploits this effect viciously. You replay worries, rehash conversations, and stress about tomorrow. But here's the dark twist. You can use it to your advantage and hack your sleep routine. Normally, the Zeigarnik Effect is the enemy. Tonight, make it your ally. Start by intentionally leaving a simple, non-threatening task unfinished, a puzzle half completed, a list partially written, a book set aside at a cliffhanger. Your mind will crave closure, but instead of racing, direct its focus. I will finish this after I rest. With each passing moment, allow your mind to switch from anxiety to anticipation. You create a mental loop, but one that gently guides your thoughts toward the promise of sleep, not the threat of insomnia. Your brain, soothed by the anticipation of easy closure later, gives up its relentless pursuit for now and softens into relaxation. Take this deeper. If thoughts race through your mind, don't force them away. Instead, quickly jot down tomorrow's tasks but purposely leave a few items unfinished. Tell yourself you'll return to them when you wake. This symbolic gesture reassures your subconscious that it doesn't need to work overtime. The incompleteness is safe and temporary. Gradually, this training teaches your mind that sleep is part of the closure process. By reframing open loops as restful waiting periods, not anxiety triggers you, lull your mind toward sleep. It's the psychological equivalent of putting a bookmark in your thoughts and closing the book. Why does this work? Because attempting perfect completion at night triggers endless mental activity. Leaving things unanswered with intentional boundaries, tomorrow, not now, breeds calm. You're not ignoring tasks, you're training your mind to pause them until you're well rested. So tonight, embrace the Zeigarnik Effect. Leave a little unfinished business. Promise resolution after sleep and watch your restless mind finally let go. Even after clearing your mind of loose ends, inner contradictions can hold you back. If you want to sleep but secretly believe it's not possible, tension grows. Our next technique resolves this inner conflict, paving a smoother road to slumber. Cognitive dissonance override. What happens in your mind when you crave sleep but convince yourself you'll never get it? A battle begins, a state of cognitive dissonance, where your desires clash with your beliefs, creating mental discomfort and anxiety. But here's the secret. This tension is a tool. Cognitive dissonance can be manipulated to override your brain's resistance to sleep. Start by deliberately creating a contradiction. Tell yourself, I want to stay awake all night. This seems odd, almost rebellious, but your subconscious hates discomfort. It instantly questions, why would I want that? As the mind struggles with this illogical statement, the natural desire for sleep surfaces even stronger. Go a step further. List out the logical reasons why staying awake is pointless or even silly. If I stay awake, I'll be tired tomorrow. If I sleep now, I'll feel better. The act of highlighting this contradiction turns your mind away from anxiety and toward rational rest. Then flip your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't sleep, ask, what's really keeping me up? Is it a true barrier or just something I've accepted without question? Challenge every excuse. The more you expose the illogical nature of insomnia, the more your mind agrees to abandon its resistance. Practice this nightly. Whenever you sense frustration or self-pity, shine a light on the contradiction. It makes no sense to fight sleep. I'm safe, comfortable, and nothing needs my attention. Your brain responds by smoothing the tension. Relaxation follows. Why does this work? Cognitive dissonance is unpleasant, and your mind seeks to resolve it not by obsessing, but by accepting the easier solution, sleep. By consciously introducing contradictions and poking holes in insomnia's story, you neutralize its power. Tonight, harness cognitive dissonance. Complicate your brain's narrative about sleeplessness until it crumbles, then welcome the relief of surrendering to sleep. Once peace returns, it helps to trust. Sometimes, simply believing in a proven method can tip the balance. Experts have unlocked secrets for a reason. Learning from them shifts the odds. The next trick gives you permission to relax just by trusting in authority. Authority bias sleep. Have you ever noticed how quickly we follow instructions from experts, doctors, or even sleep influencers? That's authority bias in action, a shortcut your brain uses to trust and obey those it perceives as credible. But here's the psychological trick. You can harness authority bias to persuade your own mind to sleep fast. It starts by deliberately borrowing the beliefs, advice, and routines of trusted sleep authorities. Begin by repeating a sleep mantra or tip that's endorsed by experts. Sleep doctors say a simple breathing technique can calm the mind. Even if you've tried it before, framing it as authority-backed instantly increases your willingness to comply. It's no longer a random tip, it's expert guidance. Next, imagine you're participating in a clinical sleep study or following a top sleep coach's protocol. Read actual quotes or instructions from respected sleep researchers and remind yourself, these techniques are proven, so my doubts can rest. Apply this bias actively. When anxiety strikes, visualize a trusted sleep expert right beside you, walking you through their method. If your mind resists, say aloud, "I am following the same steps prescribed by leading sleep scientists. My results will follow theirs." You can even take it further. Write down 3 sleep tips from credible sources and make them your nightly ritual. When you act on their advice, you signal to your subconscious that you are in safe, capable hands. Why does this work? Your brain is hardwired to defer to reliable authority to minimize risk and anxiety. Authority-backed routines provide reassurance and certainty, reducing the internal resistance that fuels insomnia. Tonight, bring authority into your bedtime routine. Lean on the expertise of sleep professionals, let their words guide your actions, and watch your mind become more receptive to sleep. Trust breeds comfort, and comfort unlocks rest. Authority can guide, but regret about lost sleep can still linger. If you've spent hours tossing and turning, it's easy to feel defeated. Now, we'll show you how to break free from the past and restart the night so every minute ahead counts. Sunk cost sleep reset. Have you ever felt frustrated lying in bed, counting the minutes lost without sleep? The temptation is to obsess over wasted time, to push harder, desperate not to waste your night. This is the sunk cost fallacy, the psychological trap where we cling to lost investments, reluctant to let go. But here's the hack. Flip this tendency to reset and free your mind for sleep. Stop fighting to recover lost hours. Let go of the sunk cost and start fresh. When clock-watching anxiety creeps in, remind yourself, the time I've already spent awake is gone. It can't be recovered. The only thing I control now is how I treat the rest of this night. Invite your mind to release regret. Say aloud, those hours spent will not chase after them. Shift your attention from the past to the present. Instead of desperately trying to win back sleep, focus on creating a restful mindset for the moments ahead. Go deeper. If you find yourself replaying the frustration, interrupt it. Visualize drawing a line under the night so far. Mentally declare, a new sleep opportunity starts now. Give yourself permission to leave negative emotions behind the line. The sunk cost stays on the other side. Why does this work? The mind cannot change what's lost, but will waste endless energy trying. By consciously abandoning pursuit of lost sleep, you reduce stress and activate acceptance, a mental reset that makes sleep far more likely. Tonight, be ruthless with regret. When you realize you've lost sleep, don't chase release. Accept what's spent and step confidently into the present moment. The ability to restart frees your mind, lowers anxiety, and opens the door to real rest. Letting go clears your slate, but sometimes sleep feels like a club you can't join. If everyone but you seems to drift off, your mind races to catch up. Let's use that urge for belonging as a gentle push toward true rest. Social proof and FOMO sleep myth. Why does it always seem that everyone else is sleeping well except you? This isn't just your imagination, it's the social proof effect at work. Your mind craves belonging, and if you believe the sleeping majority is winning, it shapes your own sleep habits through subtle pressure. But here's the twist. You can flip that pressure into an ally with one simple psychological move. Start by reminding yourself, most people eventually fall asleep even if they struggle. I am not alone, and my body knows how to join the crowd. This reassurance signals your subconscious to fit in with the universal rhythm of sleep, not the outlier of insomnia. If you catch yourself feeling left out or comparing your sleeplessness to others, make the comparison work in your favor. Picture communities all over the world, trends, families, cities slowly nodding off. Imagine billions of people slipping into sleep at the same time as you. Your mind will feel the urge to join. Sleep becomes the social default, not the exception. Take it further. If you're awake and frustrated, text a friend and discover they're tired too. Read online messages about sleep struggles. When you see that difficulty sleeping is normal, the struggle loses its sting. The pressure to be special fades, replaced by comforting universality. Why does this trick work? Your brain is hardwired to model its behavior after the perceived majority. When you make sleep feel like the norm, not the struggle, your mind relaxes, and the FOMO fear of missing out pushes you gently towards sleep. Tonight, hush the voice that says you're alone. Remind yourself, millions are drifting off right now. My place is with them. The urge to join the crowd will guide you to restful surrender. Belonging lifts you, but self-doubt can still sabotage progress. Those inner criticisms often play on repeat. Next, we'll learn how to turn every negative thought into fuel for relaxation, so your mind helps you, not holds you back. Positive framing loop. Your inner dialogue does more to dictate your sleep than you realize. When your mind says, "I can't sleep," that belief becomes your reality. But psychology has a loophole. You can reframe every negative thought and trap your mind in a positive feedback loop, transforming restlessness into relaxation. Here, how it works. The moment you catch a negative, anxious sleep thought, pause and intentionally transform it. Instead of "I'm failing at sleeping," say, "My body is getting valuable rest even as I lie here." Swap, "I'll be exhausted tomorrow," for "My body is recovering, even without perfect sleep." Each positive reframe is not about blind optimism. It's a tactical, persuasive move to calm your nervous system and downregulate anxiety. The subconscious loves repetition and pattern. If you make positive reframing a habit, it becomes the dominant story your mind follows. Go deeper. Whenever you feel frustration rising, visualize rest as something you are receiving, not something you're being denied. This is healing time, not lost time. If your mind insists you're missing out on sleep, gently answer, "I'm giving myself permission to simply rest, knowing sleep will follow naturally." The trick is to repeat these new frames until they loop automatically. Over time, they crowd out the negatives, your body relaxes, and you surrender to the process of rest without desperate effort or self-blame. Why does this work? Positive framing counters the spiral of anxiety and self-criticism that feeds insomnia. The loop keeps your stress low, signaling safety to your brain. When your mind associates bed with acceptance rather than pressure, the barriers to sleep fall away. Tonight, transform every negative into a positive loop. Let healthy self-talk become the soundtrack of your night. You'll teach your mind that sleep isn't a battleground, it's a haven. Positive thinking starts the journey, but habits give it muscle. Routines signal your brain that it's time for rest. Anchor your sleep with reliable cues. Let's explore how to build your simplest, most effective trigger yet. Anchoring sleep signals. Every habit, good or bad, begins with an anchor. A cue so powerful, it instantly triggers the desired behavior. Sleep is no different. The trick is to set up intentional sleep anchors, sensory signals that tell your brain, "Now it's time to let go." Pick a sensory anchor that can become your sleep signal: a certain scent, a specific sound, a soft object, or a simple gesture. The key is repetition and consistency. Every night before bed, engage with this anchor the same way. Breathe in a relaxing aroma, play a soothing piece of music, touch a favorite textured item, or make a unique gesture only associated with sleep. After a few nights, your subconscious starts making the link. Anchor equals sleep. You aren't just relaxing, you're activating a powerful mental shortcut. To deepen the effect, keep your anchor exclusive to sleep. If your anchor is lavender scent, reserve it only for bedtime. If it's a sound, never play it during the day. The sense of novelty and purpose builds the association quickly. If your mind resists at first, be patient. It takes time for a habit to form. The miracle happens eventually. A single sniff or sound makes your body heavy, your thoughts soften, and you surrender to rest. Why does this work? Anchors bypass conscious effort. Your mind loves patterns, and a well-chosen anchor offers certainty, safety, and routine. Over time, you create a sleep shortcut so effective that you may wonder how you ever managed without it. Tonight, choose and commit to your anchor. Protect it as your secret, powerful sleep signal. Let its presence become your permission slip to rest every single night. Cues are powerful, but repetition turns them into reflexes. When a single ritual means sleep for your mind, rest becomes almost automatic. Our next method taps into deep conditioning, making your bedtime routine irresistible. Pavlovian conditioning for sleep. What if you could train your brain to associate a simple cue with instant sleep, the way Pavlov taught his dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell? This isn't fantasy, it's classical conditioning, and it works shockingly well for sleep. Begin by selecting a unique bedtime ritual to perform every night, one that's not used at any other time. For some, it's dimming the lights a certain way. For others, a specific phrase whispered, a particular sequence of stretching, or a special tea before bed. Perform this ritual with total intention. Notice how your body feels, pay attention to your breath, and create an expectation of sleep. Over time, your brain pairs this cue with the act of falling asleep. The association builds stronger and stronger, until the mere start of the ritual makes your eyelids heavy and your mind quiet. To increase effectiveness, keep your sleep ritual short and simple, always performed at the same time and in the same way. Consistency is everything. Inconsistency breaks the association. If sleep doesn't come immediately, don't get frustrated. The trick is in sticking to the ritual, no matter how you feel. Eventually, Pavlovian conditioning does the hard work for you. Your mind surrenders out of habit, not effort. Why does this work? Classical conditioning is one of the oldest learning tools known to psychology. The subconscious craves patterns, and repeated cues quickly become irresistible signals for action. When your chosen ritual means sleep, resisting sleep feels unnatural. Tonight, initiate your own sleep conditioning. Treat the ritual as sacred, your private signal to the deepest rest. The more you honor it, the faster and more reliably it unlocks the gateway to sleep. Conditioned for sleep, some nights still go wrong. Anxiety about missed rest can sabotage tomorrow before it starts. This next technique helps you drop fear and accept tiredness, turning worry into calm when every minute counts. Pavlovian conditioning plants powerful associations deep in your subconscious, making sleep a natural reflex triggered by your bedtime ritual. But habit alone can't always quiet a racing mind or body primed for action. When subtle cues aren't enough to switch off, ancient biology demands a reset, a deliberate, gradual slowing that no cue can replace. Next, will slow time itself with a countdown that dims your nervous system one number at a time, setting the stage for rest to flow effortlessly. The sleep ritual countdown. Not every mind surrenders easily at bedtime. Some nights, even the best intentions dissolve into frustration and random effort. No clear plan, no end in sight. But here's the dark psychological twist. Your brain is wired to crave closure and measurable progress. If you give it steps and a finish line, a countdown ritual, you unlock a fast track to deep rest. Here, how it works. Before getting into bed, set a simple pre-sleep ritual of 5 tiny steps, always in the same order, always counted down. Maybe it's dimming the lights, brushing teeth, laying out tomorrow's clothes, writing down a single sentence about your day, and finally sitting on the edge of your mattress, taking 3 slow breaths. As you perform each action, announce the countdown in your head. 5, 4, 3. Until at 1, you're lying flat, eyes closed. No self-critique. No improvising. Your mind feels the comfort of progress, the assurance that sleep is the only thing left. Why does this work? Neuropsychology shows that when the brain completes an ordered series of steps, especially when paired with numbers, it gets a biochemical reward. The act of finishing the ritual triggers a sense of resolution. You are no longer drifting. Sleep becomes the logical endpoint, not just another hopeful attempt. Go deeper, personalize your countdown. Some use physical gestures, a stretch, a drink of water, a final glance out the window. Others anchor with audio cues, a favorite song's last note, a whispered mantra. The trick is consistency and gradual reduction. Each step should take you closer, never further from total stillness. If you miss a step or break the order, don't restart. Instead, tell your mind, I lost count, but sleep is still next in line. Accept imperfection and keep moving forward. The sleep ritual countdown slows the body like a dimmer switch, shaving off tension one number at a time until resistance fades. But once the pace is set, the mind still needs somewhere gentle to land. If space invites worry to creep back in, give it a picture instead. Our next technique plants a single, vivid image, a dream seed that your thoughts can sink into, so the mind drifts with purpose, and sleep grows naturally from the scene. The dream seed visualization. Even after the body relaxes, sometimes the mind clings to worries, random thoughts, or the chaos of the day. Here's a persuasion technique borrowed from elite performance psychology. Instead of fighting your thoughts, plant a single dream seed, an image, story, or wish you invite your subconscious to explore. Start with intention. Don't force yourself to think nothing. Instead, before closing your eyes, decide on a calming image or scenario, a peaceful forest walk, the taste of your favorite tea, or the laughter of someone you love. Picture it for just 1 minute, letting every detail grow vivid. What you see, hear, feel. Give it a name, tonight's dream seed. As you lie back and breathe slowly, allow that image to fade gently into the background. Don't pursue it, don't cling to it. Trust your mind to wander back naturally. If intrusive thoughts come, acknowledge them, then return for a moment to your seed. No struggle, no judgment. Here's the psychological hack. Research on dream incubation shows that planting a mental seed raises your odds of slipping into restful, story-driven sleep. The brain loves focused ambiguity, one simple concept to revisit, not a parade of fragmented worries. Take it further. Write your dream seed on paper or voice memo before bed. Share it with a partner or friend, or record yourself describing tonight's scenario. This simple act signals commitment, nudging your subconscious into amplification mode. If your mind resists, remind it, tonight I'll let my dream seed grow. I don't need to force sleep, only invite gentle imagery. With practice, this visualization becomes the mind's border crossing from stress into rest. Tonight, pick a seed, let it grow, and discover how quickly your inner stories become lullabies. The sleep ritual countdown eases the body into a slow, predictable rhythm, each step a notch down on tension until the nervous system is dimmed. But once the body is ready, the mind still needs a place to rest that isn't empty space for worry to fill. That's where the dream seed comes in. Instead of handing your thoughts a void that breeds rumination, plant a single, gentle image for the mind to tend. The countdown prepares the soil. The dream seed gives your attention a harmless, absorbing scene to grow into, so the brain drifts toward vivid, restful imagery rather than anxious thought. The sleep deprivation paradox. Most people panic when they realize they've had a poor night's sleep. The fear of sleep debt takes over, and anxiety about exhaustion tomorrow becomes its own self-fulfilling prophecy. Here's the paradox. The harder you worry about lost sleep, the less sleep you get. Tonight, you'll use this to your advantage. The key is to make peace with tiredness, accepting it as harmless, even normal. Your anxiety dissolves and sleep comes naturally. Start by reminding yourself, humans are built to survive short periods of poor sleep. One rough night is not a crisis. Instead of punishing your mind with thoughts like, I'll be useless tomorrow, calmly acknowledge, my body and brain can handle a little less rest. Tiredness isn't dangerous, it's just a signal. Go further, treat mild sleep deprivation as a temporary state, like hunger. You know you'll eat again, just as you know you'll sleep again. The less drama you build around feeling tired, the less it impacts your energy and mood. Flip your mind's obsession. If you find yourself panicking about exhaustion, turn it into gentle curiosity. I wonder how my body will compensate and adapt. Maybe I'll be more relaxed. Maybe I'll notice new things. By taking the threat out of tiredness, you break the vicious cycle that keeps sleep at bay. Why does this work? Accepting tiredness deactivates your brain's survival alarm. With anxiety out of the way, your mind is free to drift into rest, unburdened by overthinking or fear. Tonight, if you find yourself worrying about lost sleep, let go of the panic. Make tiredness your friend, not your foe. As you accept and forgive, your anxiety lifts and sleep often follows right behind. Acceptance brings relief, but surroundings work their own magic. If the environment invites sleep, your mind gives in. We'll uncover strategic tweaks with light, temperature, and layout to transform your space into a sleep sanctuary. Environmental manipulation mind games. Your environment isn't just a backdrop for sleep. It's a strategic tool for hacking your mind's beliefs and triggers. The right setup manipulates your senses and subconscious, making sleep feel irresistible. Begin with darkness. Dim the lights well before bedtime. Your brain responds to darkness by releasing melatonin, the sleep hormone. But here's the twist. Don't only rely on general darkness. Try blocking out even small light sources, phones, digital clocks, street lights, anything that could signal wakefulness to your brain. Manipulate temperature. A slightly cooler room sends the message that it's time to rest. Even lowering the temperature by a few degrees can make your body relax faster, priming you for deep sleep. You're not just making yourself comfortable, you're engineering a powerful sleep trigger. Rearrange furniture or layout so your bed is associated strictly with sleep. Don't work, eat, or scroll in bed. Make it a sanctuary for rest. When your mind learns that lying down means sleep, not stress or activity, the conditioned reflex grows stronger with time. Add sound manipulation. Use white noise, nature sounds, or gentle fans. These cues drown out disruptive thoughts and outside noises, building an audio cocoon that shields your nervous system from stress. Why does this work? Environmental cues are primal. Your subconscious uses them to decide if it's safe to surrender, let go, and become defenseless for the night. The more intentional you are with your environment, the less conscious effort you'll need to fall asleep fast. Tonight, become the architect of your sleep stage. Shape the darkness, silence, and temperature to send powerful signals to your brain. Now is the time for rest. Your environment will do half the work for you. Even in the perfect setting, the clock can be your worst enemy. Time pressure triggers stress. Next, discover how losing track of time unlocks the door to deep, effortless sleep. Time distortion technique. Your experience of time changes radically at night. Minutes can feel like hours when you're wide awake, or flash by in an instant when you're drifting off. The mind's perception of time is elastic, and you can use this distortion to your advantage for fast sleep. Start by letting go of all precise timekeeping. Avoid looking at clocks, phones, or watches. If you wake in the night, resist the urge to measure how long you've been awake. Time-related anxieties only fuel insomnia. Instead, train your awareness on timeless cues: breath, heartbeat, and body relaxation. Focus completely on sensations instead of minutes ticking away. Whenever your mind wanders to how long has it been, gently redirect thoughts to timeless repetition. I am resting, I am healing, I am safe. Use visualization to stretch or compress your sense of time. Picture sleep as a lazy river. Let your thoughts float aimlessly without measurement or agenda. If you find yourself impatient, visualize jumping ahead and imagine already waking up rested 6 hours from now. Experiment with washing out time from your routine. Engage in rituals not tied to specific moments, such as reading until you feel tired, breathing deeply until your body signals sleep. Your mind adapts to a rhythm where sleep arrives without an appointment or deadline. Why does this work? Stress about time pressure is one of the top contributors to insomnia. When you free yourself from measuring, time loses power over your mind. You train your brain to accept whatever pace sleep brings, removing anxiety and fostering relaxation. Tonight, let time drift away. Trust the unconscious to guide you. As you surrender to timelessness, sleep often comes sooner and more easily than you expect. Without time pressure, your mind is open. But on restless nights, distraction can help. Layering pleasant sensory input can quiet racing thoughts and guide your body into peace. Let's see how to use this technique for soothing overload. Sensory mismatch mind hack. Sometimes your mind becomes too focused on racing thoughts, uncomfortable emotions, or nagging worries to relax into sleep. Here, where the sensory mismatch trick comes in, overwhelming your conscious brain with input so it lets go and quiets down. Start by creating a mild but pleasant distraction for as many senses as possible. Layer soothing sounds, gentle scents, and calming tactile experiences all at once. Play white noise along with soft instrumental music. Use a cozy weighted blanket and rub calming lotion on your hands. Diffuse a tranquil aroma lavender or vanilla into the room. The combined sensations short-circuit your overactive thinking. Your brain attempts to process everything at once, becomes pleasantly overloaded, and, as a result, quiets the mental chatter that feeds insomnia. Take it further by adding small, unexpected variations. Switch the usual hand you use to grip your pillow. Focus attention on the chilled side of the sheets. Try brushing your fingertips slowly across different soft textures, and notice every detail. By confusing your senses just enough, you redirect awareness away from worries and toward relaxation. The mismatch requires effort to process, which tires the mind out, making sleep easier. Why does this work? Sensory mismatches disrupt the cycle of obsessive thought and redirect neural circuits to present moment serenity. The novelty and complexity tire out the mind, gently escorting you toward sleep. Tonight, if your mind is loud and restless, use sensory overload. Layer as many pleasant signals as possible, mix up familiar routines, and let your brain's fatigue lead you to deep rest. If even distraction isn't enough, the urge to force sleep can backfire. It's time to reverse the script. Sometimes telling your mind to do the opposite is the best way to trick it into rest. Reverse psychology sleep command. Your mind sometimes refuses to cooperate when you demand sleep. The more you insist, "I must sleep now," the more wakeful you feel. Here, where reverse psychology comes in clever, subtle trick to make your subconscious do what you consciously resist. Instead of pleading or pushing, try telling yourself, "Stay awake. Do not sleep yet." Challenge yourself to keep your eyes open, to stay alert, to resist the urge to rest. In doing so, you flip the fight in your mind, sensing a command to stay awake and immediately want to rebel. Keep this playful and light. Make a game of it. I dare my brain to keep me up for as long as possible. Instead of anxious desperation, you create gentle resistance, allowing relaxation to sneak in while your focus is on staying awake. After a few minutes, you'll often feel eyelids grow heavy and thoughts soften. The subconscious craves rebellion, and when you put no pressure to sleep, it makes sleep easier to embrace. Why does this work? Reverse psychology removes performance anxiety and the toxic pressure to fall asleep on command. When sleep is forbidden, desire increases, anxiety drops, and your defenses are let down. Tonight, play with your mind. Give yourself permission to stay awake as long as you like. The paradox is that, when pressure disappears, sleep arrives unannounced. Reverse psychology softens resistance, but language shapes belief. Slow, hypnotic phrases soothe and guide your mind to the edge of sleep. The next trick is all about using your words as the ultimate sleep tool. Hypnotic language patterns. Hypnosis isn't just for stage shows. It's a powerful psychological tool for relaxation and sleep. The key is using hypnotic language patterns in your self-talk, guiding your mind gently toward rest. Begin by speaking to yourself in slow, rhythmic sentences during your wind-down routine. Use present tense, calming phrases like, "With every breath, my body feels heavier, more relaxed." Avoid negative words or commands. Keep everything soft and inviting. Integrate repetition. Whisper the same phrase several times. "I am drifting deeper. I am letting go," until your mind starts responding reflexively. The rhythm and predictability of hypnotic phrases quiet your conscious mind and make your subconscious receptive. Layer your language with sensory detail. "My limbs feel warm and relaxed. My thoughts are fading, growing quieter. Sleep is welcoming me." These vivid cues help trigger physical calm and mental stillness. Focus on depth and progression. "The deeper I relax, the faster sleep arrives. With each minute, I am closer to letting go." Invite vivid imagery. Imagine sinking softly into a cloud, wrapped in gentle silence. Why does this work? Hypnotic language patterns mirror our natural process of falling asleep: slow, predictable, inviting, and repetitive. They cue the unconscious, helping you surrender resistance and move into true rest. Tonight, use the power of your own words. Guide your mind with hypnotic phrases, repeat them gently, and let their rhythm create the pathway to deep sleep. Words help, but who you see yourself as matters most. If you believe you're a natural sleeper, your body follows. Transforming your self-image sets a new standard for rest. Let's step into a new identity and unlock sleep as your superpower. Identity-shifting sleep persona. Who are you when you lie down at night? For some, they're the insomniac, battling for rest. For others, sleep comes naturally because their identity is wrapped around being a great sleeper. Here's the psychological trick. Shift your self-image to become the person who sleeps easily. Start by recalling a time when you slept well, a vacation, a childhood night, or even a single moment of deep rest. As you lie in bed, close your eyes and act as if you're that person right now. Visualize yourself as a natural sleeper, someone whose body and mind welcome rest effortlessly. Imagine every detail: your posture, your breathing, your peace. Make this persona your nightly role. Whenever anxious thoughts arise, remind yourself, "I am the person who falls asleep easily. This is just what I do." Replace stories of struggle with stories of success. "Sleep is my superpower. Every night I step into my restful identity." As you repeat this identity shift, your subconscious begins to follow suit. The more you act like a good sleeper, the less resistance and doubt you experience. You reprogram your beliefs from struggle to ease, from anxiety to mastery. Take it further. Journal about your new sleep persona. Write out its habits, feelings, and routines. The more you reinforce this identity, the more real it becomes until it's no longer effort but instinct. Why does this work? Beliefs shape actions, and the brain loves consistency. When you become the person who sleeps well, your behaviors follow, and sleep becomes the expectation, not the challenge. Tonight, step into your new sleep persona. Let past struggles go and claim the identity that makes rest effortless. Identity can change everything, but sometimes the deepest rest comes from returning to your roots. Childhood comfort, nostalgia, and timeless rituals work wonders. Let's journey back, reclaiming simple peace for your best night's sleep. Nostalgic regression trick. What was your bedtime like as a child? Recall the safety, the routines, the simple lullabies or stories that marked the journey into sleep every night. The mind holds powerful emotional memories in reserve. Using them can be the ultimate shortcut to deep, easy rest. Tonight, tap into nostalgia. Bring back an old comforter's favorite children's book, the melody of a lullaby, the scent of a parent's perfume, or the feel of a beloved blanket. If you can, recreate a childhood ritual. Read a story, hum a familiar tune, or use a treasured sleep object from your past. Allow yourself to regress, mentally and emotionally, to that state where sleep came with trust and ease. Close your eyes and visualize yourself in the most peaceful bedtime memory imaginable. Let go of adult worries, deadlines, and expectations. Rest simply as you once did, safe, comforted, and ready to drift off. Why does this work? Emotional memory is a deep well for comfort and relaxation. The nostalgia trick bypasses anxiety and taps the ancient associations between bedtime and inner peace. For many, this alone dissolves resistance and brings sleep sooner and more sweetly. Tonight, give yourself permission to be a little child again. Enjoy the rituals, the music, the reading, the scents, whatever brings back that sense of timeless restfulness. Let nostalgia soothe your mind and guide you gently into sleep. The Soundscape Ritual. Every night your brain listens before it sleeps. Even when your eyes are closed, sound keeps mapping the world, deciding whether it's safe to drift or time to stay alert. That's why sudden noises jolt you awake, while a soft, repeating pattern can rock you into rest. The key is not silence, it's predictability. Here's the cheat code. Design a personal soundscape that signals bedtime. It's not about finding the right song or app, but curating a texture of sound your mind will learn to trust. Think of it like building a nightly soundtrack for safety and surrender. Start with intention. Ask, what does calm sound like to me? For some, it's ocean waves. For others, the low hum of a fan, distant thunder, or slow instrumental loops with no lyrics at all. Research in psychoacoustics shows that repetitive, low-frequency patterns reduce activity in the brain's vigilance network, the same system that keeps you scanning for danger. When that network quiets, melatonin release rises naturally. You can build this ritual in layers. Begin with a foundation tone, white noise, pink noise, or brown noise. White noise covers the whole spectrum of frequencies equally, like radio static. Pink noise softens the high end, creating a gentler wash. Brown noise deepens the bass, like a waterfall's constant rush. Try each for a few nights and notice which one feels most like home. Then add texture sounds that feel emotionally safe to you. Rainfall, distant train wheels, soft piano, wind through leaves. Keep them low in volume, almost beneath awareness. The trick is consistency. When the pattern never surprises you, your heartbeat and breathing sync to its rhythm. Sleep labs have documented this effect for decades. Patients exposed to steady ambient sound not only fell asleep faster but spent more time in slow-wave sleep, the deep, body-repairing phase. Even infants respond. Lullabies work not because of melody, but because of predictable rhythm. You can take this further by pairing the same soundscape with a small pre-sleep action, dimming lights, stretching, or writing one closing sentence in a notebook. Over time, the sound itself becomes a Pavlovian cue. You'll hear the first notes and feel your body already softening, muscles releasing. Many frequent travelers use portable sound machines for exactly this reason. The constant hum tells the nervous system, we've been here before, it's safe to rest. You can achieve the same effect anywhere: hotel, couch, guest room, or even a plane. Try this tonight. Build your mix, set the timer, close your eyes. Notice how your thoughts begin to fall into tempo with the sound. Within minutes, the border between conscious listening and dreaming starts to blur. The soundscape ritual isn't about music. It's about memory, teaching your nervous system that certain sounds mean safety, and safety invites sleep. Once mastered, you'll never chase silence again. You'll simply drift on a tide of sound you designed yourself. Before you drift off tonight, remember, the journey to better sleep is not a straight path. It's a toolbox, a tapestry, and a training ground for your mind. You've explored 20 of the deepest psychological techniques. Not every night will be perfect, but every night is an opportunity to practice, discover, and grow. Check in with yourself. Which trick resonated most? Mirror effect, cognitive dissonance override, nostalgic regression, or the gentle power of positive loops? Give yourself permission to experiment, refine, and let go of the need for instant results. You are not alone in your struggle, and you are never stuck. Each restless night is a lesson, every small win a victory, every setback a step toward wisdom. Use what feels right and honor what your intuition reveals. As you weave these strategies into your bedtime routine, encourage others, share your insights, and always commit to using psychological power responsibly. Sleep is a basic human right to nurture, not a battle to win. Take a slow, deep breath and let the skills you've learned settle in. Trust yourself. Trust your mind. Trust that, with time and intention, restful sleep will become your new normal. Thank you for joining this journey. Until next time, sleep deeply, wake refreshed, and let your mind become your greatest ally. Good night.